A routine disagreement over a thermostat in Miami-Dade County turned into a gruesome tragedy, leaving a beloved father dead and a landlord facing murder charges. How could such an everyday issue escalate to an unthinkable act of violence, leaving a community in shock and searching for answers?
I saw a bunch of police cars and I heard sirens, and then I see a rescue truck just drive by. They're taking somebody away. This type of stuff usually doesn't happen around here.
In January 2025, a Miami-Dade neighborhood was rocked by a horrifying act of violence that would forever change its peaceful reputation. At the center of the tragedy was Louis Anson, a 37-year-old landlord, and his tenant, Carlos Alberto Gonzalez, 57, a longtime resident described as a kind and gentle soul. The dispute began over a thermostat located in the common hallway of the apartment complex. Anson, who had reportedly taken issue with how the thermostat was being set, decided to address the matter directly. He knocked on Gonzalez's window, attempting to gain access to the apartment. Gonzalez opened the door, unaware that this seemingly mundane encounter would mark the last moments of his life. According to police reports, the disagreement quickly escalated into a physical altercation. Witnesses and evidence suggest that Anson forced his way into Gonzalez's apartment and began to assault him. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. What could have been resolved through dialogue spiraled into a violent confrontation, with Anson dragging Gonzalez from his home to the backyard. There, in an act of horrifying brutality, Anson pulled out a firearm and shot Gonzalez multiple times in the head. The quiet neighborhood was jolted by the sound of gunfire, and residents rushed to call the police, some already fearing the worst. What Anson did after the killing sent further shockwaves through the investigation. Rather than fleeing or immediately calling for help, he returned to Gonzalez's apartment and adjusted the thermostat, the very source of the dispute. This bizarre and unsettling act added a chilling layer to an already gruesome crime. Anson then went back to his own residence and called 911, telling operators he had acted in self-defense. However, investigators quickly found discrepancies in his account. Carlos Alberto Gonzalez was rushed to a local hospital, but the severity of his injuries left no room for hope. He was pronounced dead shortly after arriving. Friends, neighbors, and family members were devastated by the loss of a man they described as generous and hardworking, someone who had built his life in the neighborhood over many years. He didn't deserve this, said one neighbor, who struggled to comprehend how a disagreement over something as small as a thermostat could result in such a brutal end. As the investigation unfolded, authorities uncovered troubling details about Anson's past. Public records revealed a history of legal and behavioral issues, casting a shadow over his role as a landlord. Neighbors described him as an unpredictable figure, known for clashing with tenants over trivial matters. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. This incident marked the culmination of what some saw as a pattern of unchecked anger and control. Anson was swiftly arrested and charged with second-degree murder and burglary with armed assault or battery. Prosecutors argue that his actions were deliberate and unprovoked, challenging his claim of self-defense. They point to the calculated nature of the attack and his bizarre post-crime behavior as evidence of premeditation. Anson pleaded not guilty and remains in custody without bond as he awaits arraignment. For the Miami-Dade community, the loss of Gonzalez is a devastating reminder of how quickly everyday conflicts can escalate into irreversible tragedy. The incident has sparked conversations about landlord-tenant relationships, community safety, and the importance of conflict resolution. While the legal proceedings against Anson are ongoing, Gonzalez's family and friends continue to mourn their loss. They remember him not for the way he died, but for the life he lived, one of kindness, hard work, and quiet resilience. As the case moves forward, it serves as a stark warning about the consequences of unchecked anger and the tragic outcomes of poor conflict management. The Miami-Dade community is left grappling with the senselessness of the act, hoping that justice for Carlos Gonzalez will bring some measure of closure to those he left behind. For now, the thermostat dispute stands as a chilling symbol of how minor grievances, if allowed to escalate, can lead to unimaginable tragedy. This true crime story paints a devastating picture of a man whose life was cut short by senseless violence and a community left to pick up the pieces. As the case unfolds, the focus remains on accountability and healing for those left in the wake of this horrific event. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.